It's New Zealand Music T-shirt day. I'm wearing Office Dog, which is my favourite band in New Zealand. I am really sick right now, so please excuse my voice. I just really felt like hanging out. So something that I've really struggled with in the past is trusting my gut when it comes to people in my life. And it's like every single time that somebody disappoints us, we have that moment of oh, okay, I know that I was right now. I know that my intuition was correct now, so I'm just going to I'm going to trust that forever. And then somebody else comes along, or you meet somebody else, and what do you know? You ignore your intuition again. When you betray that, you're brushing off the fact that your body is feeling something that it recognizes. And obviously there's a difference between being triggered and having an intuitive nudge. Sometimes it's hypervigilance and our body goes into this state of fear and intense emotion, and that's not intuition. That's definitely being triggered, because our intuition is an inner knowing. It's solid. It's completely solid in its form. And I especially think that this is a good thing to practice, being an artist and being in an artistic career, not just for the connections that you make and the collaborators that you could work with, deals that you might sign, jobs that you might go for, but it's also your creative journey. Where are you being led to? Where are you being pulled to? And what are the interpersonal relationships, and how are they affecting your career? Because it isn't just about being hardworking and dedicated. That is a massive part of it, but we also need to consider how our relationships and how our friendship dynamics and your co-worker dynamics, everything, how is it affecting your mental health? How is it affecting your self-perception? How is it affecting your trust in yourself? When you're being manipulated in a way that you sort of lose that connection to your own truth. And so a lot of the reason why I started this YouTube channel was because I needed somewhere to speak my truth. Because I've had it taken from me so many times in my life, and I've been misunderstood, and I've allowed myself to shrink and pretend that I was dumber than I was. And I was thinking about it the other week. The last toxic relationship that I was in, I would do this thing with toxic boyfriends where if I was sort of confronting them about something that upset me, instead of being you've done this thing and I know why you did it, because you did it because XYZ, I knew that, but I would do this thing where I would almost make up the excuse in my own head and then say it to them. I was oh, well, maybe it was because you blah blah blah, and then they'd be yeah, that's why. So strange. But obviously that was rooted in my self-hatred, and I didn't think that I deserved any better, and yada yada, we've heard it all before. And obviously being in a healthy relationship now, I'm thriving. I'm growing more into myself the more I'm in a relationship, and I don't attribute that to being in a relationship, but having somebody that you trust, genuinely trust, that uplifts you and supports you, whether it's a friend or a partner. Having at least one person that is backing you and pushing you to shine, and pushing you, obviously healthily, pushing you, not because they want to benefit from that, but because they genuinely want you to be happy, because it makes them happy. Maybe you're very emotionally open with somebody that doesn't necessarily holds it with grace or holds it with love or understanding, and maybe every time you come away from hanging out with a specific friend, you feel awful, you feel drained, you feel like you've got self-doubt? How much am I giving to the people that I consider closest to me? How much am I getting out of that? Do I feel disempowered or do I feel empowered? Because I think it's really important to know and to trust that intuitive nudge. Where are you giving your energy? Where are you giving your power? Where are you allowing your vulnerability to be potentially held by somebody, and are they mistreating that? And are they making you walk away from that interaction feeling drained or feeling disempowered or feeling like there is a power imbalance happening? Because if it's an isolated incident, whatever, like it's probably just like a triggering thing from your past or something that you've been through, whatever. But if it's happening over and over and over again and you're ignoring the signs over and over and over again, eventually you have to wake up to that. Being in those situations is dangerous and can be detrimental to your career. And I'm not saying that to freak you out. I'm saying that so that you actually place importance over you, over your life, over your light, over who you are, everything about who you are, your creativity, your ideas, your emotions, your heart, your empathy, everything about who you are. It is so sacred. And if people or a person is continuously mistreating it and making you feel like they don't see your value, or they're not like giving you credit for your value, or giving you credit for who you are as a human being that has a creative spirit, that has something to express. I'm not saying to put yourself on a pedestal. I'm saying like everybody deserves to be held with that love and that understanding, and have people around them that genuinely can hold them at their full capacity and their full shine. I deserve to be surrounded by people that can hold me at my full capacity. And even if they do feel insecure, that they're not using me as a source to measure up against or to belittle, period. So I think that it is really important for us to like think about these things, really ask ourselves, like, does this friendship, does this relationship, does this job opportunity, does this collaborator, does this feel right? More times than not, does it feel right? Does it feel aligned with me? And your intuition will be a rock solid in a knowing. And I think at a certain point, we just can't keep giving ourselves the excuses anymore, or perpetuating that hurt. You know, it's one thing to realize that you've been in toxic relationships or toxic friendships because it's what you felt like you deserved. It's a whole other thing to know that you knew from the start, and you've known better, and you've done better, and you're still choosing that, whether it's from a scarcity mindset or because you feel like there's nothing better out there. I would rather wait. I would rather slowly build my people around me rather than rush things and rush into just having that security, because I just can't do it. It feels very inauthentic to me now. I've tried to put myself in positions where I can, be in front of more people and make more friends, and it just did not. It just felt gross. It just felt really, 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 really gross. So I'm just not doing it. Your career, your creative development, your spiritual development, your human development, your quality of life is not something that you should compromise because you want to give someone the benefit of the doubt, or maybe your intuition's wrong, or maybe this time it'll be different. We've all got to listen to ourselves at some point in our life, and I feel like the more you listen to yourself, the more we can listen to ourselves, the safer our careers will be. If more people follow their intuition, like especially like musicians and creative people who are out there trying to just make money and profit off of musicians and profit off of musicians' art, artists' art, creatives' creativity, they won't be able to attach themselves to you if you are in alignment with your intuition, no matter what anyone says, everyone could be telling you that, oh my gosh, no, you should be working with this person, you should sign to this label, you should do this thing. And if it doesn't feel right in your body, you can't betray yourself like that. Obviously, there is a level of self-sabotage. We're not talking about self-sabotaging. It's like that gut solid feeling, it's a knowing, it's a definite. It's not rooted in fear or anxiety or insecurity. It's rooted in knowing. So we're not talking about self-sabotaging your success. But the more of us that don't allow these, industry people to take advantage, the more, the artist has the power, and the more the industry can actually change into something that is beneficial. I'm really glad that I came to talk today, even though I'm really ill. Happy New Zealand Music Shirt Day. Check out Office Dog. Genuinely listen to the album spiel front to back. Like, I want you to listen to the whole thing all the way through. It is amazing. It is so good. It is my favorite album. Favorite New Zealand band. Go listen to it. I hope that this video helped, and I'll see you in the next one.